be an urban area. And thirdly, we'll talk about the functions. Generally, we should have in mind and know that there are some functions which are supposed to be set, or the last criteria for urban, for classifying urban settlement, or for classifying an area as an urban settlement. Yeah. So government policy here, we will go straight to Cameroon. For example, in Cameroon, government has decided that any divisional headquarter or subdivisional headquarter is qualified enough to be called an urban settlement. That is just its policy. And if you go to this policy, you go steadily to understand why the government has decided to qualify this area an urban settlement, you will realize that such headquarters or divisional headquarters have the population which ranges more than 5,000. Yes. And most of the occupation is not agriculture. Yes. And their functions, what they are doing is most of secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. Yes. So I'm sure that's the reason why government is using this policy of division and subdivisional headquarters to qualify an area to be an urban settlement.
Okay, I now understand why some years back, let's say in the 1990s and 2000, while I was still a student, Goya was considered a rural sector. Yes, but now since there was I think the main activity in Goya at the time was the education and toilety, the agriculture. Yes. So now with development now, it has now upgraded to.
Yes. I'm sure. Yeah, that's just true, and that's perfect. Okay, so then through our table of content, we will go straight to giving the students some examples of urban areas.
Okay, so before we ride on, we'll throw another opportunity for a keen listener to win a prize. The question goes thus: what criteria are used to determine urban settlement? You can call us on 672-505073. I repeat, 672-505073. There are cash prizes to be won, and there are kits to help us fight against the coronavirus, like hand sanitizers and liquid soap. Proudly sponsored by the Senator Lionel Fondesen. Okay, Mr. Larry, over to you.
Okay. Some examples of urban areas are towns, city conurbations, and megalopolis. We've been hearing about towns, cities, conurbation. How can you, or megalopolis? How do we really differentiate between these urban settlements? Yes, there's just there's just one simple explanation for the differences between what a town, a city, conurbation, or a megalopoly is. And when we want to clarify whether an area is a town, a city, or a conurbation, or a megalopoly, we are just dealing only with the population. Because if we go taking the occupation, we will realize that towns are equally having the, or producing the occupations or practicing the occupations which cities are practicing. Likewise, conurbation and megalopoly. So we will just be mentioning only the population factor here to differentiate between what a city is and what's the difference between a city, town, conurbation, and a megalopoly.
So actually, the difference here should be population.
Just population,
because they have the same.
Yeah, they have some functions. Yeah.
Occupation and government policies.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, sir. So we will just go straight by understanding what urbanization is.
Okay.
Yes. We've been hearing about urbanizations, and what is really urbanization? We would define urbanization as an increase in the number of people living in a town. It could be naturally, or it could be naturally or physically expansion of the number of population living in a town. When we talk about natural increase, here we are talking about urbanization in a situation where the birth rates exceed death rates. That is, birth rates exceeding mortality rates. Yes. And what can really cause death rates in an area to be surpassing death rates? We will have like good hygiene. If there is good hygiene and good sanitation, you will realize that death rates will surpass death rates. So good medical services. So when death rates officially surpasses death rates, there must be an increase. Say, just for example, if in a year a particular area or say an urban area has, or let's say 100 births, has recorded 100 births in a year, let's just quote for example,
Yes.
and then in that very year, just 10 people are dying. Okay, now when you do this simple arithmetic, when you subtract the deaths from the births, you realize there's a 90,
Yes,
there's a
yes.
90,
gap, yes.
90% gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the growth rate now is 90%. So you
Yes.
just have to realize that that is a natural increase.
And I think employment has something to do with so natural increase, because where there's employment, there are more opportunities and people give better.
Yeah.
People have less stress, they don't die, and I think employment also has got something.
Yeah, all of that we'll be studying about factors like employment. We'll be studying them under the reasons for urbanization.
Okay.
Yeah. So secondly, we said another factor that has caused urbanization is the physical expansion, or what we call urban sprawl. Urban sprawl can equally be defined as the horizontal expansion of an urban area. When we talk about horizontal expansion, we are talking about the expansion of an urban area to its peripheries. Yeah, that the peripheries began having the services of the town itself. You realize that the periphery began having or began performing some functions, such as you see them having good connectivity, good roads network, good water.
Okay, can we take for example like in Limbe, when they open new layouts, they have now better electricity goes further.
Yeah.
Good roads follow. Then they open hospitals in the new layout. Can that also be a natural expansion? As
Yeah,
you say?
that we call that a physical expansion. That is urban sprawl. That's not natural, because when we're talking about natural, we're talking about
yes,
bed
surpassing. Yes, thank you. Sorry, I got mixed up.
Yeah, so that is a physical expansion. We will not really emphasize on that. If you have some doubts, you call the number.
Yes.
Yeah, the numbers that have been given to you, so that we can clarify you more. Now we are going to be studying the reasons for urbanization, the reasons why places or towns got populated. That will be the next. That will be what we'll be studying. And here in our table of content, we have economic factors that has caused urbanization.
Yeah.
We have economic factors. So in these economic factors, we have what is commonly known as economic disparity. There is a disparity between the rural and the urban population. And what we have to know is that there are so much opportunities in the urban areas and cities, such as industries, firms, factories, and high standards of living, which attract or pull people or attract people from the rural areas to the city centers. So that is an economic factor that has caused urbanization. What do we say it is? It is as a result of the industries, the firms, the factories which are in the urban areas that are pulling the people from the rural settlements.
Causing a rural exodus.
Yeah, causing a rural exodus. Thank you, Frank. Okay, the second economic factor here is rural poverty. I want us to realize something, that the rural areas they have a characteristic of rural poverty. When we talk about rural poverty, definitely means there's just not enough income for them to take care of their day-to-day, their basic needs. So what really causes this rural poverty is as a result of less economic activities, such as maybe industries, firms, or factories. When these services or activities are lacking in the rural area, you will definitely realize that there will be no opportunity for employment, thus causing rural poverty. And when there's rural poverty, many people will always reach and always want to leave the rural area to the urban areas, thereby causing urbanization. Then the third economic factor here, we'll be talking about poor wages. Poor wages, rural poverty, economic disparity, unemployment, they all work hand in gloves. For example, this other factor we mentioned about economic disparity. Let's just go straight to lower wages or poor wages. Normally, if you don't have a job, I doubt your wage definitely means that your wage will be poor. You will not even have a wage. You will not be earning anything. And it is very common with the people in the rural areas because they don't have these industries. They don't have these factories. So they don't have jobs. Or they might be involved in some kind of or the informal sector producing very minute, which is not enough to make up with the daily needs or the basic needs, because they will need hospitality, they will need care, they will need to send their children to school. So because of this, the low wages, they cannot meet up with their basic needs. So they have to leave the rural areas to urban areas which have these services of goods, or which have industries, or have firms, and also plants where they can get employment. Okay. For us not to get mixed up, we go through by revising us that what we are studying are the reasons for urbanization, and that one of the main reasons we have economic reasons, and under economic reasons we have rural poverty as one factor, we have unemployment, we have poor wages in the rural areas, and we have food shortages. And when all of this is combined, you will realize that these are the main these are the main factors which have caused urbanization today.
For those who are just tuned in, you're listening to Science in Action, being brought to you by Dalton Home of Science, proudly sponsored by Senator Lionel Fondersen. So the question which has been thrown out is, what are the criteria for urbanization? There are 4 of them for those who've been listening. What are the criteria? You can call us on the number 672-5